Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're gonna do part two of the button animations. Okay, this is so awesome. I'm gonna do a little bit different in the last button, which mine is the lightning. Yours is a different, but I'm gonna do it different. I know you might already have done it, but we're gonna change it still. Okay, let's begin. Okay, guys. So let's begin. So right now we have our video with one of the buttons actually being animated. The rest of them are not. Okay, so let's begin to animate the rest of the four buttons. Okay, so now we select our button number two, which is will be the number one there. Go to transition, change it to animation, auto generate animation, and save it where the other one was saved. Okay, as you can see at the bottom, you see the animations are being created. Okay, from there, let's go to animator. Remember, we have to have the animator to see our commands there. Exactly. Let's move them a little so we could see them a little bit better, which later on we will delete some of them, and later on we will um, give them commands. From now, we don't have our animation window, so we go to Windows, Animation, and the first one, Animation. Okay, now we have our window. Great, amazing. Let's see now. From here, let's go to our scene, so we could select the second one since we are going to use our hotkeys, the WER. Okay, let's select the first one, and then this one we're gonna animate it. Okay, remember to animate it we would have to press the record and then select it where we want it to be and stuff like that. But before that, we do have to add a property. Okay, we have to add the property. And I'm selecting property, then reaction transform, and then we go to scale. Okay, add the scale. From there, now you see the dots up here. Great. Let's go to 0.05. Okay, we record. Let's go to 0.05 and we move the button. I'm going to go up and down with this animation. So I'm going to go up and then I'm going to move it to 0.10. I'm going to go all lower now, down. Okay, and then I'm going to go to pretty much that's it. I bring in the last set into here, but as you can see that there's two here and three there. Let's delete that one, highlight it, delete it, and then with this one, control copy of the first three, and then control V. So control C will copy them, control V will paste them. So make sure the first one and the last one are the same, the three dots and the three dots. From there you could just move it and see how your animation is going to look. Okay, so it's going to look like that. That looks good. Okay, there, remember it's not saved. I have the start, control S, I saved it, or file save, we save it. From here we go to the animator, so I can start selecting the button, selecting different things from the animator. Make sure it is already stopped, you have stopped recording. Okay, in the animator, let's delete the highlighted, delete, and delete it from the left side too, and then delete selected. Well, we'll delete select later on, but let's work on the normal. From normal we go to settings. Remember, select the line, the arrow, select settings, and then fixed rotation, take off the check mark, and then add conditions where it says normal, change it to pressed. Once we selected that, became that button became pressed. Okay, now we go to press the command from press the line, and we just change the press to normal. So all we did, remember, we just switch them back and forth. Now select, let's delete it, we don't need it, and delete it from the left hand side as well. Okay, make sure you save it, control S, save, or file, save. Okay, from there press play. Let's see them, the hands and everything. Let's see the first one, now the second one. Whoa, now this is a little too fast. Okay, so if it's too fast and you want to adjust it, remember, just select the second button, and you see there's different ways you could do it. You could see all these, you could highlight them all. As you could see, I can highlight them all, and the further I move them to the right, the slower it should get. But if it's not getting slower as you would like, just put them back to where they were and just start moving the dots. Make sure you press pause and then start moving the dots. So right here is too fast. Let's move this one to let's do 30. Okay, the next one, let's move it to 20. and the next one to 10. Okay, so right there, make sure I do Control S. I saved it, and then now I press play. Since there are 30 seconds it would take now, so now it's a little slower. Now it's a little bit going with the beat a little bit more. Okay, so it looks better than it was right now. It's just going super fast. Now I just pause it. Now I just move on to my next actually button. Okay, I close down the window so I could look at the settings. From remember, go transition from color tint to animation. Animation auto generate, save where the other two are. Click on save, and then as you can see at the bottom, it regenerated. Select the second one, the animations. So let's just spread out the animations a little bit more. Okay, select the second button. Now I did close down the animation window, so what I have to do, I have to go up to Windows, click on animation, and animation, or your hotkey Control 6 will bring up the animation. Okay, add your property. From your property, your scale, at your scale. Okay, so I'm going to change the scene, and this time, instead of going up or down or zooming in and out like I did my first two buttons, this time I'm actually gonna do it to like rotate, to swing a little. So as you could see, the first one, now I use my hotkey, I use E. Now I'm swinging it left, and then I'm gonna swing it right. Okay, as you could see, that one kind of hit, but I still found it. So I swing it to the right, and so I stop recording, and then I bring my other two that are not like the first one, so I have to delete these. As you could see, I only have the two dots, and then there's my swing, so there's an issue there. I do have to highlight them. They're selected, they turn blue. I delete them. I copy the first three. Okay, copy the first three, Control C, and then I go to the 30 minutes with my needle and Control V. Okay, so now I have all three, and now I can move my needle and see exactly how it's gonna look. So that's how it's gonna look. It looks good. Okay, from there I have to go to my animator, delete highlighted, let's delete it, and then delete it from the left hand side, and then delete select, and delete it from the left hand side. So let's just delete it right away. Now I'm left with normal, press, and disable. So I select the arrow and normal. Remember settings, I take away the fixed orientation, I turn normal to press, and then I go to press the arrow, change the press to normal, make sure I do save it, Control S, save it, and then I press play to make sure everything is running smooth. Okay, my frog is zooming in and out, the Indian is going up and down, and the bananas are going left to right. Awesome. So now let's put pause. Now let's work on my other button, the bomb. So this one I'm gonna try to do a little different from all of them as well. Okay, so let's start working on this one. Remember, go to transition, from color tinting to animation, auto generate, save, and let's add the property, add property, reaction transform. From there we add to scale, add the scale, and we select the number 3, button number 3, which is button number 4. Okay, from there I use my hotkeys. I go back to E, since I'm gonna make this one spin. So I will make it spin. This one looks good. Okay, but before I do make it spin, I do have to change my needle. Okay, I cannot make it spin as the very first one. I change my needle, and now I make it spin so it could save. I could make it spin like that, and so now the lid part is on the right hand side, and then I go to 20, and then I could make it spin the other way, so the lid parts are on the left hand side now. Okay, now I go for my other two that are not, I pause the recording. Now I delete my other two that are not alike. Highlight the first three, Control C, go to the 30.30, Control V, and now they're there. And now if I just get the needle, this is how it's gonna look. It's just gonna look if it's actually just spinning. Okay, back and forth, back and forth. So that looks good. Now let's go to animator, delete highlighted, and then go to the left hand side, delete it. And if I try deleting select right now, it won't let me because I have to delete it first in the layers. So I delete the layer and now delete the left hand side. Okay, now I move normal and select the arrow, select settings, fix the rotation, unselect it, normal to press, and then in press I do the same thing. Okay, in press I select the arrow, press to normal, Control S, make sure the start goes away, it went away, and I press play. Now I'm gonna see all my buttons. So first the banana left to right. Now the bomb is just spinning. It's just spinning, but it's a little too fast. So I could either fix that, or if you like it, you could leave it like that. Remember, it's up to you. Since it's spinning a lot, I'm gonna actually change the duration to actually 1 whole second for it to last the whole animation. So 1 whole second. Take the last part, put it at the 1. The second part divided by what it is. So there's 4 of them, so it has to be 1, 40, 20, and then the 0. Okay, now I press play, and then I see the bomb spin normally now. Before it was spinning super fast, so now it's spinning normal. That's good. Okay, so now we're gonna go to our last one, our 5th button. Okay, but this one I'm actually gonna do something different. What I'm gonna do is actually change the picture. Okay, change the animation. So we're gonna go to our assets, we're gonna go to videos. Okay, in videos we do have the Scooby there. The Scoopster is there. So we're gonna have to actually dice them, slice them, and make them individual. Remember, we do that. We're gonna exchange the Scooby for that animation. Okay, so first we have to slice them. Let's slice them. Remember, to begin we select it, and then we go to where it says text, where it says texture type, we change it to sprite 2D and UI. Okay, where it says sprite mode, it has single, it should be to multiple. And then at the bottom it says sprite editor, we click on it, it tells you a warning, you press apply. And now we go to the top left corner, we slice. As you can see now, every single one has a highlighted part, they became individual. Okay, now we press apply, now everything became applied, it shows us there, and just close the window. Once you see that, okay, now we could select Scooby, and there's a bunch of different Scoobies. So what we're going to do, we're going to change that last animation button to Scooby. Why? Because Scooby is actually Shaggy's friend, so we have to call upon him, right? Okay, so let's change that animation. Okay, so what we're going to do, we're actually going to take Scooby. I'm going to take a Scooby. Let's take the very first one with his eyes closed, and let's replace him with the first sprite, with the source image. Okay, once we replace him with the source image, as you can see, Scooby appears and the other one disappeared, but my Scooby's a little too small, so I do have to use my hotkeys to find out the size, which is R, and then I go bigger. Now I could use the game mode, but I could see Scooby here, but I cannot see Scooby on the share side, so I could use my hotkeys, Alt right click or Alt left click, and then if you could find him, that's fine. If you can't, that's no issue. Let's just go back. See, he's far outside, so I'm just gonna take the game view, put it back, and just work with the scene. Okay, or you could drag it at the bottom, whichever one, it's up to you. So now I'm just gonna make them bigger. Let's see, give them a actual size. Pretty much they look the same size, all of them now. Great, awesome. So now we're gonna change the view of Scooby. Okay, so every single time I highlight over him or click on him, a different picture of Scooby will come out. So now I'm gonna once I highlight, I could select any of these pictures of Scooby. Okay, so we go to transition. Instead of doing color tint, we go to sprite swap. So the sprite swap is gonna let us change the image. So the first one, I'm actually gonna pick like Scooby, like howling or with his eyes open, like Scooby, like that. Okay, so I'm gonna select it. I have to select the button. Now I put that Scooby, the one I like, in press sprite. Okay, once I press him in press sprite, it should appear there. And highlight it. Let's change him. Right now Scooby's with his eyes closed, so I want him to have one with eyes open. This one, see at the bottom you can see the picture. This one, he looks relaxed, like he's ready to go. So I get that one, I put it in the highlighted sprite. So I have all these three. Control save, and you will see the difference. Once I press play, Okay, everybody's dancing. Now Scooby is just there. Highlight over him. He opened his mouth. If I click on him, he's gonna like start barking. Bark, 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 bark. Okay, see, as you could see, and all my animations are still, all the other animations are still working. They were looking good. They're looking great. And Scooby is now barking at Thanos. Bark, bark, bark. Okay, so far, so this is looking good. This is looking great. Make sure you do save it. See, button animation is actually pretty simple, pretty basic. Once you get the hang of it, you're just going to start going through the flow. Like as you can see, you start getting faster and faster and faster, which that's amazing. That's awesome. Okay. The last part, I know I did change it on you guys. I added Scooby. We have to add Scooby. How can you have Shaggy without Scooby? Correct. So those buttons actually later on we're gonna start adding the code. So the buttons you could change the music or cast a spell or different things. Okay. Besides that, if you have any questions, please send me a message. If not, stay safe, guys. Take care.